Now, following bloodshed over the weekend, Gauteng Community Safety MEC Faith Mazibuko is now hosting a crime summit. She's hoping the summit will come up with an action plan to deal with crime in areas such as Gauteng, Thokoza and Phosphorus. eNCA's Lindokuhle Xulu joined us live with the details. Lindo, quite an important meeting that the MEC is holding there, especially after what we saw in Gauteng over the weekend.
It's an important one, Maseko. It is focusing on specific areas. It's all about trying to configure plans for specific areas for certain areas in terms of crime. You know that when you go to different areas, for example, like in Soweto, or when you go to Gauteng, you will hear residents, when they give you a sense of what's happening, they'll always be talking about area-specific crimes, to say that it's not necessarily a generalization, but it needs to be specific in order to be able to help them in fighting crimes. We have been speaking to some of the residents that are attending here at Phosphorus Civic Center, telling us issues in terms of what they are faced with. Some of them are common, as far as those of load shedding, saying that when there is load shedding, they see a lot of elevation when it comes to crimes such as the stealing of cable theft. And they are saying that as much as they've created groups to try and patrol, but they need to be with the police so that it can help them in terms of ensuring their safety as well as the success of some of those operations. So those are some of the things we're getting on the ground. But it is a summit that has been going around, I should be fair, even with the some of the issues that keep on arising as far as our communities is concerned in terms of crime. This one has always been on the ground, trying to focus on areas, trying to come up with area-specific crime prevention. As I said, I am seeing Umamu Faith Mazibuko just next to me. She's still engaging with one of the community members, I believe. But let's just try to bring her in before we delay her any further in terms of the summit inside. Thank you so much for joining us. I know this was not planned, but perhaps just give us a sense, Mama, in terms of
an ambush.
It's not an ambush. You just walked past and I saw an opportunity. It's an opportunity. But you came here on this summit. It's not the first of its kind, but just give us a sense of what is it that you're going to do. But also, have you seen successes as far as these summits are concerned?
Yes, indeed. We have seen successes, because out of these summits, we then create what we will call a community safety plan. It's in line with our GGT 2030 Gauteng safety strategy that then identifies what it is that we need to do as communities. Remember, as the Department of Community Safety, ours is to mobilize communities in the fight against crime, or not necessarily the police, but also take into consideration that recently, even in this era, there's been incidences. I'm sure over the weekend you recall the Gauteng incident where people went into a tavern, and that has not been the only problem. Another challenge here in your Katoras area, majority of cars get hijacked, they end up here. So it tells you, so it becomes important that our communities also, they become vigilant. And it then raises eyebrows to say, any other car gets stolen, who lives in Zonkizizwe? Early this morning there was an operation out of concerns that were raised by communities that there are a lot of drug sellers. Of course, it may not be drug laws. And indeed, all of those information, they came out positive. Whereas Omunye is a disabled person sitting on a wheelchair. Now, they even use vulnerable people. Obviously, they know that once you're in that condition, police, if they take you to a police station car, they'll end up being sued, because you are obviously even the comorbidities we are born between. So, and Katoras, remember, is alongside N3. Is in paying is Kamagama province, province. They get migrated to Gauteng. Ezinye asukuthi balwa ngoba bela eGauteng basuka la besuka khona belwa, but they then come and look for each other here in Gauteng. We've got hostels here, which some of them are now a crime hotspot, because anyone just walks into a hostel afika lale. You find even nezindruna, they are no longer feeling safe, because obviously now we're in Druna, sizokuthola ekhaya. Now like goal uzenza ngcono. So you turn out to be an enemy of even the people that you lead. So conditions and situations are no longer the same, whereby the traditional leadership is also respected. And we used to rely on them to say, within your hostile environment, we've got these induna, people who are respected, and people ngoba basuke emakhaya baza vele bephethe umthetho wasemakhaya behlonipha nabafika la. You'll recall how even the Senzo Mewa case, some of the people were actually, they came in, they slept at the hostel. So I'm a hostel away to Akseko governance. It's Kuvuki land. Now with this Kuvuki land, it means any criminal can just go in there. Not necessarily that ngobesuka a hostel, but they use them as a zinda, where they can come in and launch or come in and hide. You're taking violence within this area. Some of eNCA that get transported, they come and hide here and go to their work and disappear and never to be found. So the relationship between KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng is also important through the various provincial commissioners. So it then makes us, all of us, within this Katoras area, not to feel safe. Gender-based violence is on a high rise. Of course, there has been incidences of your mob justice after some of the people were actually found and community decided to take the law onto its end. So what then brings us here is to say, as Katoras, what it is that we can do to salvage the situation. Out of all these incidences, as much as most of their police stations, unlike Itembisa that you always find within the top 30 of national, a police station you won't find them within the top 30 at national, but you find them at top 40 of the province. Is it underreporting or what is happening? So we're here to zoom in on that and further encourage communities, report crime. Don't just sit and say, Bachubatare. You report because it makes the work of the police to also be looked at to say, Amapoisa, are they working or not working? Is the visible policing or not? Is the sector crime forums functional? Are our CPFs functional? These are community structures that must be built, and through the community safety plan and ward-based policing, we intend to do that.
But I just have to ask in terms of other news, indaba yama-tavern, I'm sure so Katelo ukuza ngayo, but there is a growing concern in terms of that environment. We heard of what has happened in Mamelodi, Katlehong, all of those things, and even now we heard of one who was drinking and then died because of excessive drinking. Surely this is a problem. What are the structures working? Just very quickly, Mama Plambe City, 1 minute.
Well, of course, we do have a liquor board. That is the one that is responsible for liquor outlets in the province. So we hope through the various legislations and the regulations that are there, they'll zoom in into that. Most of these shebins are not even illegal shebins. They are working within their operating hours. So what now is there something? We believe crime intelligence must do its work and be able to get to the bottom of this problem.
What about those who say there's no crime intelligence?
Crime intelligence. And not as members of the communities, isn't that not we are better informers? We are the better crime intelligentsia that exists within our communities. Bakhona yebo abaqashiwe emaphoyiseni. Kodwa wena wenzani ngoba uma ngabe uhlezi la next door kunomakhelwane wakho wenzani uyantshontsha uphila ngani back opposite njalo njalo. Is that not community intelligence? Crime intelligence, it exists amongst us as communities.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Faith Mazibuko there, as she will leave now to go to her summit, but she's just she even wants to hear what I say, taking us through some of the things that they'll be doing here, speaking about issues of saying that we're even inheriting crime from other provinces as far as these communities are concerned, especially the one that is next to the N3. But she speaks about, one important thing at the end there to say that intelligence, as far as it can be questioned from the police's side, but there is also the most important intelligence, and that is the community, and that's exactly what she'll be trying to do here, to lobby the community to come forth when it comes to those issues and work with the police. But on the other hand, you have the community that says that police are not present when it comes to them working with them. So that is the situation, and that is the reason why she is here in Fostoras, to try and work with the community to rid of crime.
All right, Lindokuhle Xulu with that report. Let's leave it there for now.